Only yes means yes. As simple as this statement may sound, only half of the EU countries have laws that explicitly define rape on the basis of lack of consent. And many member states require victims to prove the use of force or threat to criminalize the act. Gender-based violence is still widespread across the continent, and the statistics are staggering. According to an EU-wide survey, 1 in 20 women in the European Union has been raped since the age of 15, and around a third of rape victims have experienced 6 or more incidents at the hand of their current partner. However, these figures do not necessarily reflect the scale of the problem, as one of the biggest challenges is the underreporting of non-consensual sex out of fear, stigmatization, or distrust of the legal system. Another barrier in collecting data on rape is the lack of standardized definitions. In addition to sexual violence against women, another form of violence, the most brutal of all, femicide, remains a challenge throughout Europe. Not for nothing is femicide often described as a silent epidemic. An investigative report published by the European Data Journalism Network calls it the undeclared war on women in Europe. The research conducted with the participation of 18 newsrooms across Europe shows that since 2019, Greece, Slovenia, Germany and Italy saw significant increases in femicides. It's only fair to say that in recent years, the European Union has intensified its efforts to combat gender-based violence and femicide in its member states. But much remains to be done. One critical aspect of gender equality that deserves our attention is the need to criminalize non-consensual sexual relations.
I would like that we cast into law another basic principle. No means no. There can be no true equality without freedom from violence.
Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, brought the issue to the forefront during her annual State of the Union address in Strasbourg on September 13th. She called for a widespread support for the criminalization of non-consensual sex and the establishment of a common definition of rape within the EU. On the same day, Frances Fitzgerald, Irish member of the European Parliament from centre-right EPP, welcomed Ursula von der Leyen's remarks and insisted that the bill should include paragraphs on consent.
You are right. No means no. But this must become a legal reality across all the member states, and they must examine their approach to the inclusion of rape in the Directive on Violence Against Women. We have free movement, but we do not have common protections against violence for women.
The bill is currently being negotiated within the EU. The inclusion of rape among the offences listed in the legislation is one of the main points of disagreement between the European Parliament and the Member States, which are generally opposed to including the article concerning the criminalisation of rape without consent. Although all 27 EU countries consider rape to be a crime, they do not have a common definition. The challenges of combating gender-based violence in the EU are undeniably complex, and they also require a delicate balance between respecting the sovereignty of member states and establishing a common framework to protect women's rights. Still, given the situation, the EU must rise to the challenge and assert its position on rape, consent, and the fight against gender-based violence in the broadest sense.